to put the pressure on. But look, I've got to take away £30,000 though and tell you all that news that they declare, Rob, you have been caught. Finally for you, the chase is over. Chaser.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to charge
actually kicked in at the end there, which is
Right.
why I suddenly slowed down.
Yeah.
But very well played. Special props to Rob for going high. 17, it's never a target you take for granted.
No, absolutely. Banana skin target, they say.
Absolutely.
There you go, my team get taken out. A full house, by the way, with 8 seconds remaining. Could you make a full house? Could you be part of the team? Or more importantly, could you take money from a chaser? Well, come and have a go. You might be clever enough. We'll see you next time on The Chase. Goodbye.
Interest rates tumble. It's now cheaper to get money on a home loan from the big banks after a surprise announcement. And a police chase is abandoned. Arrests are made, but leads to a high-speed getaway, which ends with the death of a pedestrian. Kia ora, good evening. Good news if you're looking at buying a new home. It's now cheaper to borrow money from the bank and costs could go even lower. Retail banks have already started cutting interest rates on home loans after a surprise move from the Reserve Bank. It's cut the official cash rate by half a percentage point to a record low 1%. The drop is more than the 0.25% cut experts were expecting. Mortgage rates are already at low levels and could come down even further, with some picking the Reserve Bank to announce more cuts to the OCR, which affects the price of borrowing money. Katie Bradford joins us live shortly. First, she has reaction and what it means for you.
Start swiping. The Reserve Bank wants everyone to spend more, and that includes the government.
These are really, really interesting times.
Today's bold drop of half a percentage point surprised most experts.
Technically, that's a third of what's left. So I guess there's two strategies when you don't have much ammunition left. You either hide behind a rock and save your ammunition, or you charge, and the Reserve Bank seems to be going for the all-out approach.
When the global financial crisis hit in 2008, the OCR dropped suddenly. Since then, the trend downwards has been slow but steady. The last time the Reserve Bank slashed half a point off was after the Christchurch earthquake. The Governor says while there are economic pluses, a low unemployment rate, wage growth and a promised big government spend-up, there are minuses too.
With the uncertainty rising around what is happening, particularly the US-China trade tensions, business uncertainty can be paralysing to investment activity. And so we are seeing increasing concern as uncertainty lingers.
Experts want a plan in place in case the outlook worsens.
You could really do some of the projects which could perhaps address some of the bottlenecks in transport, for example, that are impacting on productivity in this economy.
Businesses aren't willing to spend, consumers still are. However, the really big risk to the economy is that if consumers, so if you people at home are not willing to get out your wallet, you're not willing to spend, that's going to really harm the economy.
We have seen a dramatic drop in business confidence, and we have seen increased costs to business, and that flows through to the uncertainty that we're seeing.
The Finance Minister insists the government does have a plan.
We've got $10 billion worth of capital spending going out the door, so we are already stimulating the economy.
You can't rule out a perverse kind of effect where businesses actually perhaps freak out a little bit that interest rates are being cut so aggressively and wonder what they're missing.
While lower interest rates are good news for homeowners, they're bad for savers. But the Governor's message is keep calm and carry on.
Consumers to be comfortable, businesses to invest, and of course government to be spending.
And today's drop comes with a warning, it might not be the last.
It's easily within the realms of possibility that we might have to use negative interest rates.
But there's hope this big move reduces that possibility.
Well, let's go to Katie now. So signals interest rates go much lower. What will this mean?
Well, that talk of negative interest rates there will worry people. Everyone expected the rate to go down today. They didn't expect that drop to be so much. And Adrian Orr is clearly trying to send a message out to people there to stop that going even lower, is to have more confidence in the economy for consumers, business and government to spend. He wants business to invest more. But already off the back of that, we've seen all of the banks drop their interest rates almost immediately. And both the New Zealand and Australian dollars have tumbled. gold. The Australian dollar heading for a 10-year low on the back of that news.
And Katie, the message to the government to spend more, is it going to do this?
Well, the government has got that big infrastructure spend up promised, but the issue there is that both the economists and the construction infrastructure industry say they want to see that spending actually happen. They want to see spades in the ground. They want more certainty around that, and that's where the problem lies. They want the government to have a bit more fiscal stimulus, to spend a bit more. Now, we have a couple of months now before we see if another OCR drop happens. In the meantime, the Reserve Bank governor will be hoping people listen.
Katie Braven in Auckland, thank you.
A police cordon still surrounds the scene in Christchurch where a driver fleeing police killed a pedestrian.
The driver had earlier been involved in a vehicle in a police pursuit. For the very latest, let's go now to Jordan Oppett in New Brighton. What more can you tell us, Jordan?
Well, a heavy police presence remains here in New Brighton tonight as they continue to investigate what occurred here earlier this afternoon. The body of the deceased is yet to be removed from the scene. But what I can tell you is shortly before 2 p.m. this afternoon, a vehicle of interest failed to stop for police, sparking a police pursuit. Now, that was shortly abandoned due to the nature of the driving, but was located a short time after that. 2 of 3 people in that car were arrested. A third got out, got into a stolen van and fled the scene. Now, that's when he came through Shore Ave here, hitting and killing a pedestrian. Inquiries are ongoing to locate that man this evening, but just as we went to air, police put out more information on that man. They're looking for 21-year-old Liam Strickland. He is 182 centimetres tall, medium build, dark hair. He's also got tattoos on his face. Police say he is dangerous and should not be approached, but if anyone has information, call 111 immediately.
All right, thanks for the update, Jordan. Jordan Oppett in Christchurch.
10 people have been arrested and more than $1 million in cash and assets seized in a major nationwide drug bust today. Luxury vehicles, including a Porsche, Jeep and Harley-Davidson motorbikes, were seized in Auckland as part of the 10-month operation. Police also hauled in 20 kilograms of methamphetamine worth more than $12 million. More than 150 officers stormed residential and commercial properties throughout Auckland, Canterbury and Southland.
What the investigation has demonstrated to us is that there is a high degree of cooperation between organised criminal groups at this upper level.
Those arrested will appear in court this week, facing about 70 charges between them.
The Breast Cancer Foundation celebrating Pharmac's proposal to fund the drug Kadcyla, along with treatments for lung cancer and multiple sclerosis. The drug buying agency is now seeking feedback from patients, medical professionals and cancer services. Breast cancer patients have been fighting hard for funded access tests to Kadcyla.
This drug costs about $9,000 per infusion, per treatment, so it's a lot of money. People are having to sell their homes, and clearly they've been hanging out for this new drug.
All going to plan. Final sign-off from Pharmac's board will see the drug funded by December 1st.
Well, most victims of crime say they've been failed by a justice system which doesn't offer them enough support. A survey designed by the Chief's Victims Advisor to the government reveals the majority of victims believe their experience was poor or worse. Gia Garrick reports.
A victim of sexual abuse, Galena chose to take her case to the police. She was told it would be her word against his and was unlikely to make it to court.
There were a couple of occasions where I kind of felt like I was a nuisance and that I shouldn't be calling, I shouldn't be asking questions.
She says she began questioning herself and what she was doing. It did make it to court, but that only made her experience worse.
I was called a liar. I was told that what I'm saying is not true over and over and over again, which again can be very intimidating, especially with the betrayer sitting right there, smug, looking at me while I'm there sort of representing myself and my child self as well.
Victims are telling us that they feel re-victimized and they're advising other victims not to go forward and report crime. So this is a really serious matter.
Last year's Criminal Justice Summit saw need for a victim survey. Conducted through February, the verdict from most of the 620 respondents was negative. Is the criminal justice system safe for victims? 83% said no. Are they listened to? 77% said no. Supported and given enough information? 79% another no. And 63% of respondents said their overall experience of the criminal justice system was either poor or very poor.
next year, and a reform program laid out on what we're going to do.
This is a government that came in and made some very big, bold promises that we would see the biggest justice reforms in a generation, and we've seen absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, there's concern faith in the justice system will only fall further while victims wait for change. Gia Garrick, One News.
A Tauranga landlord is one of the first to be fined after new insulation rules came into force last month. Kaimai Real Estate Limited, trading as First National, was ordered to insulate a Paingaroa property and pay $1,500 in damages. Since July, all landlords must comply with the new rules, including floor and ceiling insulation, heating and ventilation. Figures released to One News show 100,000 properties may have missed the July deadline, and more than 100 breaches have been received by the Tenancy Tribunal.
Those who play with fire will get burnt. China's most severe warning yet to Hong Kong's protest movement, now into its 9th week.
Alongside the rebuke, a huge show of Chinese force not far from the embattled city. One News reporter Kimberly Downs is in Hong Kong. She reports on what's at stake.
In a Chinese city near Hong Kong, 12,000 anti-riot officers in mock battle with mock protesters dressed like Hong Kong's pro-democracy activists. A massive show of force staged ahead of China's starkest warning to date.
Those who play with fire will get burnt, and the deserved punishment will come in due course.
Beijing refusing to rule out deploying Chinese troops to restore order, an escalation that would drastically reshape Hong Kong, Asia's premier financial centre.
That would be the end of Hong Kong as we know it. Most foreign companies would find it very difficult to continue to operate here.
We still don't think that they would go so far as to destroy Hong Kong as an economic powerhouse. Kiwi expat Julia Browns lived here for 3 decades, watching China's mounting push for power. We are in uncharted waters right now. And with no end in sight to the protest movement, its wider impacts are already being felt. Recently, the government here has said the ongoing unrest is having an effect on the economy, particularly small and medium-sized businesses who are having to shut up shop during the protests, sometimes for days at a time. It's affecting their bottom line and frustrations increasing.
As they say in Hong Kong, you don't mess with someone's rice bowl. You're messing with their livelihoods, with their life.
He says tourism's down too, mostly from mainland China, their primary market. But many Western tourists we spoke to aren't deterred.
It's for good reason, I would say, Keep on rocking in the free world.
Even if some got more than they were bargaining for.
I was petrified, got back into a taxi, went straight back to the hotel.
Those on the front line make no apologies.
1 year or 2 years of the kind of economy is not so important when it is compared to the long-term democracy or liberty for Hong Kong.
Many of those protesting are Hong Kong's youth, defining their city's future for better or worse. Kimberly Downs, One News, Hong Kong.
Anonymous online chat forums are struggling for survival as tech companies turn their backs on websites that host hate speech. It comes as 8chan has been forced offline after the El Paso gunman's manifesto was posted to the site. Kushla Norman reports.
What links the Christchurch terror attack with a shooting at a San Diego synagogue and the latest massacre in El Paso? The answer is 8chan, a website where manifestos were posted before attacks on Muslims, Jews and Hispanics.
This site is essentially a megaphone for gunmen. It has been proven again and again.
Even 8chan's founder regrets making it.
8chan has been just a total negative in the world. And, I was very naive and ignorant when I made it.
But now in the unseen world of the web, companies that provide critical infrastructure are taking a moral stance and sites are falling like digital dominoes. Despite a new attempt to revive 8chan today, it remains offline. And similar sites like neo-Nazi hub The Daily Stormer have been hit too.
This is an extremely significant development. Up till now, we've seen the infrastructure providers for sites like this able to distance themselves.
It shows that those sort of key players on the internet are not happy or not accepting this kind of bad behaviour.
New Zealand has been leading the global fight against the internet being used as a tool of terror, and at home the government's working on changes.
One option is filtering, which is already used for child sex abuse material.
When you're talking about an obviously terrorist promotional site that presents a clear and present danger, filtering shouldn't be off the table.
Filtering is also a tremendously complicated thing to maintain and run so that everybody has confidence in it.
8chan may have been driven offline for now, but a long battle against online hate speech still lies ahead. Kushla Norman, One News.
An image of an arrest in Texas has sparked outrage. Officers can be seen leading a man down a street by a rope. Next, what the police chief is saying about the incident.
And remembering beloved American author Toni Morrison, who's passed away. How Oprah helped make the award-winning writer a household name.
Around 7 sharp, ratepayers getting stung again, Hillary? Use $100,000 for a council rebrand and Porirua is causing a big stir. It's all over the city's new logo. We will show you why ratepayers aren't happy. And parliamentary security were quick to muster, but why was this sheep part of the protest? All that, plus Brett McKenzie from Flight of the Conchords at 7.
Tonight, a house in desperate need of a makeover.
So have you seen this shower arrangement?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It's very weird. Then, a mad dash to the finish line in the final of Race Across the World. And, what's that?
It is a present from us to us. Cheers!
Enjoy with one.
Well, welcome everyone. And now Barry here is going to describe exactly why this painting means so much to him.
Sorry, everyone. I just need 30 seconds.
When you've only got a moment, clean your house with 30 seconds cleaners.
Thank you, everyone. This is a picture of
Teamwork makes life better, eh? Like kiwi slices on a pan, fish served up with chips, and the old hammer and nail. No Leeming and Vodafone are mates. Perfect. See us now for the best deals on mobile pay monthly plans. No Leeming and Vodafone.
Great Wall, New Zealand's best value ute. Get the petrol dual cab from only $22,990. Or the diesel single cab with tray from $21,990. All prices include GST plus on-road costs. Great Wall, it's built to work.
True Niagen is a next-generation, scientifically researched dietary supplement that supports healthy levels of our youth molecule NAD. Until now, the decline of NAD was thought to be an irreversible consequence of aging. Then, along came True Niagen. True Niagen supports healthy NAD levels, which are essential for supporting the energy our cells need to perform at their best every day. To live and perform at your best, visit trueniagen.co.nz today. All day long, 24 hours, makes me feel impeccable, unstoppable, ready for anything. Discover new Revlon Color Stay Light-Proof Matte Foundation Stick. Never lets me down. Move boldly. Come into Godfrey's for a total cleaning solution from Hoover. This powerful bagless vac is great for pet lovers and allergy sufferers. Save $150, just $1.99. And this 2-in-1 stick vac is just $1.19. Total cleaning solutions, but only at Godfrey's.
Season long with Spark Sport. Hot specials this week at Countdown. Cadbury chocolate blocks, you need 2 for $5. Sanitarium Up and Go liquid breakfast, 6-pack, $6.50 a pack. And Essentials butter, 500 grams, $4.80 each. Hot specials this week, only at Countdown.
Ah, 天哪，可以，太好了！
What What is it like to be a Māori midwife?
Perfect. Do you want to tie the muka yourself?
We are trying to incorporate culture into their birth. Hurry up. Our lives are insane, aren't they? She's a loving guest.
Oh, hi, you babe. Have another one.
My Māori Midwife, streaming now, TVNZ On Demand.
Welcome back. A confrontation at Ihu Mātau on Monday night might have brought complaints from protesters, but it's now emerged police were subjected to verbal abuse, including racist remarks.
Police are praising the officers who faced down the abuse, and the union's calling for calm to prevail. Māori Affairs reporter Yvonne Tahana with more.
Here we go. Hello. These pink shirts again.
An officer stoic in the face of abuse, another copping it for his ethnicity.
Here's another foreigner occupying our whenua in Aotearoa, and they're not even letting us on our own. That's your own country.
While one voice urges calm in Te Reo Māori.
Just tie te rangi Māori! Leave the line if you are getting ready!
In a statement, police hierarchy say they're aware staff were subjected to intimidation and verbal abuse. The police union also not impressed.
Well, that footage is pretty disappointing. I think we'd all agree there's no place for racism, no matter what side of the argument you're on.
The pictures were filmed on Monday when protest leader Pania Newton claims she was pushed by police officers. The woman who filmed it all today admitting to the abuse, but not apologising.
We asked leaders here for an interview about the abuse on that clip, but a spokeswoman said they were in discussions with the police over the issue.
Visitors to the site saying they were saddened by the incident.
The police are seen by the whole country as whether perfect, no, not by any means, but they are the people that you go to when you need help.
And while dismayed at the abuse, police say they recognise there are strong feelings at play.
I mean, you're going to have a lot better empathy with the protesters if you understand some of the history behind that.
I hope that goodwill will prevail on both sides to avoid a repeat of scenes like these. Yvonne Tahana, One News.
Tensions remain high between nuclear-armed neighbours India and Pakistan over the long-disputed region of Kashmir. Indian-administered Kashmir is now in lockdown after India stripped its only state with a Muslim majority of its special status.
It sparked strong opposition from Pakistan, but with the communications blackout and troops on the streets, there's not a lot of information coming out of the Indian-controlled area. The BBC's Paul Adams reports.
A state in lockdown, all but cut off from the outside world. India has flooded Jammu and Kashmir with tens of thousands of extra troops and police. Phone lines and the internet have been blocked since Sunday. The result, an atmosphere of uncertainty and apprehension. But some are happy. Among the state's non-Muslim minority, expressions of support for the government's bold move. This is an historic decision by the Modi government. A very big thing has been done by the government. A priceless gift has been given to the country. Across this vast country, there's little doubt something decisive has happened. The Indian government breaking with more than 70 years of history.
More news from Kashmir, the once peaceful Muslim state. Now
the former princely state joined Hindu-majority India in 1947, but only after India gave its special status. Muslim-majority Pakistan clings to a rival claim. The two countries have gone to war over Jammu and Kashmir 4 times. Since 1972, the area has been split in two along the so-called line of control, but the conflict has never gone away. Yesterday's announcement stripping Jammu and Kashmir of its special status caused uproar in the Indian parliament. The government of Narendra Modi says it's necessary for security and the state's economic development.
That is a sort of Hindu nationalist mobilization behind his election and his recent re-election.
In Pakistan, outrage and a sense of crisis. Kashmir is an incendiary issue. Successive governments have sponsored violent groups there. As Parliament meets to discuss the issue, the country's military has warned of retaliation. Pakistan seems poised to take the dispute to the UN Security Council. India says Jammu and Kashmir is a domestic issue, and all the while from the streets at the heart of this crisis, an uneasy silence.
But no silence from former cricket star and Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan, who says India's move breaches international law and he fears ethnic cleansing by India.
Two of the images now causing shock and outrage in America. Two white Texas police officers mounted on horses leading a black man on a rope. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
This is the disturbing photo that's all over the internet that Galveston police are trying to explain tonight. The picture was taken Saturday as police on horseback were arresting 43-year-old Donald Neely. His family says he has a history of mental illness and lives on the streets.
I can't even imagine what they were thinking to say, we're going to use this today.
Now there's video too. He is indeed being led down the middle of a Texas street by a rope, and the many critics tonight say the scene looks straight out of the 1800s.
You don't do anything. You don't even do a dog that way.
All of this started after a call from the Galveston Park Board on the second floor of this building. They say Neely was trespassing and was wearing this strange welding mask. In a statement, the police chief says he must apologize to Mr. Neely for this unnecessary embarrassment. I believe our officers showed poor judgment and could have waited for a transport unit. Police say he was being led to a staging area. Neely's daughters tonight say he is off the streets and home with them.
And it's not known yet if the officers will be punished.
At nearly 5,000 kilometres, it's the world's longest endurance race. But there's something about this event that makes it even more challenging.
If you got bored, then you really wouldn't be able to do this race.
Plus, we bring you the story of a fascinating discovery. A relative of these kaka, a metre-high parrot that once roamed the lakes of central Otago.
Being on 7 Sharp, local politics, it's tough.
Yeah, just how do you stand out from the crowd when you want people to vote for you? Is a chainsaw on the campaign trail going too far? Also tonight, the smiley face raising eyebrows with ratepayers. Did it really cost almost $100,000 to design this? And when security steps in, why is this sheep being smuggled into Parliament? Plus, Hillary's helping Rachel Hunter's son Liam play ice hockey, all that and more. Coming up at 7.
Hello! They might disagree on this. I say list it.
I say love it.
But at least they don't argue. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't really argue. Stop biting your fingers.
I like it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Say no more.
New Zealand, what do you think?
Love it all listed. Tonight, 7:30 on 1.
And in Sophie's 19th month in the world, she discovered the only thing better than building is unbuilding. Especially when Dad's part of her wrecking crew. In the early years, exploring and learning through play is a crucial part of your child's brain development. With its synergy of brain nutrients, iron, iodine and zinc, S26 Gold Toddler helps support your child's cognitive function. Nurture your child's potential through play and S26 Gold Toddler.
The way we watch TV has changed. Be 2019 ready with the best apps. For when it matters most, Panasonic OLED TVs. The best way to watch. To celebrate the great deals at $5 Week, we're throwing a parade for $5. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. $5 Week on now at Pack and Save. It's time to unwrap a new fuel program with more discounts and rewards. So rip into it, New Zealand. Get pumped at Zed or Celtex now.
What's happening now, Detective?
They're still there. You would have thought they'd moved out by now. Got themselves a little unit somewhere.
Nope, they got a reverse mortgage from Hartman so they can keep the house. That home means the world to that family. And they just got back from a romantic European cruise.
I'm romantic. Oh, crikey, get a room out!
Ask about a reverse mortgage from Heartland and discover how you can enjoy a better retirement. Heartland Seniors Finance.
The famously fun Suzuki Swift is seriously safe and loaded with advanced safety features. Plus, every new Swift Auto has a maximum 5-star handicap safety rating. So play it safe and have fun in New Zealand's favourite Super Mini.
Ben Brantley of the New York Times calls The Book of Mormon the best musical of this century. Trust me when I tell you that its heart is as pure as a Rodgers and Hammerstein show. I've never heard such whoop-shaking laughter cheers Vanity Fair. 4 stars. It's on its march into legend, rates Rolling Stone. It's genius. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal, says Jimmy Fallon. And Entertainment Weekly calls it the funniest musical of all time. Winner of 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. The Book of Mormon is coming to Auckland. Tickets now on sale. Visit bookofmormonmusical.co.nz. Harvey Norman's mammoth technology sale on now. Score 10-inch tablets for only $4.98 and huge deals on laptops now from only $4.97. Save over $310 on this new Acer laptop, now only $7.88. Save over $180 on this Lenovo IdeaPad with Intel i5 processor, now only $998. Plus the Fitbit Versa smartwatch, now $268. Mammoth technology sale ends Monday.
We can help you set up your computer so that it's ready for you to go.
Detecting has you covered.
Hot specials this week at Countdown. Cadbury chocolate blocks, any 2 for $5. Sanitarium Up and Go liquid breakfast, 6-pack, $6.50 a pack. And Essentials butter, 500 grams, $4.80 each. Hot specials this week, only at Countdown.
Dettol Vegan Strong Cleaning Wipes. They're bigger than regular wipes and 40% stronger for those tough cleaning occasions. New Dettol Vegan Strong Wipes.
Your life post-prison is going really well.
We are here to discuss the release of a violent psychopath into our town.
And the partner on Dixon Street.
It was a long time ago and I'm ready to move on.
Back to life. Streaming now. TVNZ on demand.
Welcome back. One of the greats of modern American fiction has died. Toni Morrison was a master storyteller, giving a voice to African-American history through the stories of women.
The 88-year-old won several major literary awards, including the Nobel Prize. ABC's David Muir looks back at her life.
Toni Morrison was born Chloe Wofford in Lorain, Ohio, the daughter of a steelworker and a singer. Once our person of the week, she told us the memories of her hometown in the Midwest inspired her writings.
Even when I'm writing about stories that take place in the West Indies or in New York City, the matrix for my imagination, you know, the sort of wellspring.
An honor student in high school, she attended Howard University, where she got the nickname Toni. She became a book editor. There were few black women at the time in publishing. A divorced single mom of 2 boys. She'd work on her novels at their kitchen table after they went to bed.
It came out of being a hungry reader and not finding some things in the libraries and in the bookstores that I wanted to read. There was an incredible silence, a kind of void, the perceptions, experience of African Americans, and particularly African American women.
In 1987, she published Beloved, later turning it into a movie starring Oprah Winfrey.
Why you leave me?
Beloved, I was never gonna leave you. Never.
And it was Winfrey, through her book club, who helped make Toni Morrison a household name.
She reaches into the depths of pain and shows us through pain all the myriad ways we can come to love.
In 1993, Morrison became the first black woman to receive the Nobel Literature Prize. And in